Hi everyone, it's Melanie, founder and creator of the YouTube channel Living Luxuriously for Less. I am so excited about today's video because I get tons of questions from you guys concerning, how to start an event planning business, how to attract new clients when you're new to the event planning business, and the list goes on. So today I want to take the opportunity to answer one of those most commonly asked questions, and that is, how do you attract the ideal client? But before I do that, in today's video, I want to address 3 mistakes you should avoid when you're working with a new client. And then in the next video, I'm going to give you steps on how to attract that ideal client. So I'm really excited about it. Over the years, I've definitely made my fair share of mistakes in the event planning arena when it comes to dealing with new and prospective clients. And in this video, I will be sharing with you my most costly event planning errors, and in hopes that you can avoid making them as well. So without any further ado, I need you to grab your pen, your luxurious planner, and get ready to take some notes because I'm definitely going to be dropping some jewels in this video today. There is no worse feeling to me in the event planning arena than disappointing a client or losing a client. They go hand in hand for me. And when I began to reflect on the mistakes that I've made over the years in event planning, I was able to pinpoint 3 of the culprits that I believe enable me to make some of my most costly mistakes. And we're going to count those down right now. So let's start with number 3, and that is insufficient installation time. So you can write that down. Number 3, insufficient installation time. What does that mean? Not having enough time to set up. As weddings and birthday parties and baby showers become more and more and more elaborate and extravagant, it really requires us to have more time to set up and to decorate the venue. And a lot of times, when the client goes to book the venue, they don't really consider the amount of time it actually takes to set up. And not having the proper time to set up can definitely lead to, number 1, incomplete work. Number 2, delaying the event or causing the event to start late, which we know is not good. And number 3, extreme frustration. So this can definitely be avoided by requesting a set number of hours to decorate in the initial stages of planning. So before you ever agree to a contract, before you ever, grab that new client, you need to know exactly how much time it's going to take you to install that wedding or that event, and agree on that time before any contracts are signed, before any agreements are made. In Lux Academy, I teach my students how to allot the proper amount of time to decorate. So they know how much time it takes to put on a chair cover, put on a tablecloth, and then I gave them a formula to come up with event installation times or setup times so that they will know how many people they're going to need on staff, and how long it's going to take them, what's feasible, what's not feasible, because it really depends on the complexity of the design, the number of people you have on staff with you, and the allotted time that you have to actually decorate. So you definitely need to establish this up front so that you won't make the mistake of having incomplete work, or being rushed and feeling like you didn't do your best, or even just feeling frustration because the vision that you had in your mind did not actually manifest before you in that room. So definitely having that, it takes a lot of time to do everything from putting on chair covers to designing these elaborate backdrops. It just takes so much time to do that. And if you're interested in joining Lux Academy and finding out exactly how to come up with that formula, shameless plug, I know, but it's true. I will leave that link down below. My next hands-on class is going to be May the 15th through the 17th. And the cost of that is only like $4.99, which is super, super cheap compared to other event planning academies similar to mine that cost like 90% more. Like they are way, 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 way more, like around $4,000. So that brings me to point number 2. So the number 3, casualty can be the insufficient setup time. Number 2 is premature pricing. Premature pricing. What does that mean, Melanie? That means not charging the appropriate price for the event that you are doing. Not all events are created equal. Decorating a 50-person wedding is not the same as decorating a 50-person baby shower. And then there are some events that can be so elaborate but involve like less number of guests, but still, you've given them a premature price for the work that you're going to be doing. So you just can't, give them a pricing and just say, okay, for 25 people, it's going to be this amount. For 50 people, it's going to be this amount. I do have packages available, but, I always say starting at. I just don't give them an upfront price because a lot of times you need to understand that, everything that's going into that design. And one of the ways you can avoid premature pricing is through visiting the venue up front. So when I meet a client for a consultation, I love to consult with that client at the particular venue that I am going to be decorating. I know that is, a little bit different, but I do like to do that because I know exactly what I'm getting myself into, and I know like how to guide my client when I'm doing the consultation in terms of the design that they have in their mind. Like I can let them know if it's something that's going to be feasible in that venue or something that's not so feasible in that venue. So visiting the venue up front is definitely one of the ways that you can avoid premature pricing, and then gathering that information beforehand allows you to provide more accurate pricing. You get to ask the right questions to the owners at the venue. Now, a lot of times when it comes to weddings and events, there are like so many resources online for brides to be able to ask the questions or that they need to ask for having their wedding in a venue. But when it comes to like social events like birthday parties, baby showers, retirements, graduation parties, or just any other social event, there are not as many resources out there. So I have created a new resource you can find on my Etsy shop. It's only like $5 and some change, but it lists like 101 questions that you need to ask the venue from an event planning perspective, from an event planner's perspective or a party planner's perspective. And it will just really enlighten you on exactly what you need to expect so that in the end, it will save you from frustration. It will save you from just heartache and headache and finding out things at the last minute. It will really cut down on a lot of the stress if you ask these questions up front. So if you guys are interested in grabbing those 101 questions that you as an event planner, party planner, or an individual who is interested in renting a venue for whatever reason, I have all of those questions outlined for you. And also, it includes questions for brides as well. So I have all of those questions outlined for you, and I promise you it will be questions that you never really thought about. There are a lot of questions that I included from the last event that I was telling you guys about that did not quite work out due to situations beyond my control. But there were a lot of things that I learned during that process that I was able to pass those learnings on to you guys for just a unbelievable fee of $5.22. The 22 is because 22 is just my number, okay? So I have compiled that list of questions, and again, I will link that down below. But that's one of the ways that you can definitely avoid premature pricing is by visiting the venue up front, asking all the right questions, and then get back to them with their proposal. Which brings me to number one. My number one mistake that I made with new clients was my response time. And the reason why I did that, number one, is because I was working full time at the time, so I could not get back to my clients right away. But in this world, like in today's world, like people want immediate responses. Like when 24 hours pass or a couple hours pass and they haven't heard from you, they're moving on to the next planner. They're moving on to the next event planner, the next party planner, the next DJ, the next photographer, the next makeup artist, like they're moving on because they want answers now. And so I had to come up with a system or a way to not lose these clientele because I didn't get a chance to respond right away. Like sometimes it would be 2 or 3 days because I was working full time. I had so many other things going on, and I could not afford to hire like an assistant to answer these questions for me. So one of the ways that I was able to overcome that hurdle was Honeybook. And I told you guys about Honeybook before. No, this video is not sponsored by them. I've been working with them now for over a year. And I recently created some workflows that, like, once the person goes onto my website and they fill out the form, the inquiry form, it automatically transposes that information into Honeybook, and then it triggers an email to be sent to them that's like a questionnaire that allows me to like weed out those individuals that are not serious about their events. It allows me to gather all the information that I need up front so that I can give them a better price, so that I can make sure I have enough time to set up their event, to do all of those things right there in this one form. And I don't even have to think about it. Like, when I think about, I really can't fathom the amount of clients that I lost because of me not responding on time. And by me having this workflow now, all of my contracts are in there, my pricing is in there, letters are in there, like everything is automated until it gets to the point that I actually need to schedule a meeting with that client. And even in the next couple of weeks or so, they're adding a calendar in so that clients can schedule their own time to meet with you, and you set up your availability. So that is not going to even be an issue going forward. So once I meet with that client, everything is going to be right there. Inspiration pictures, contracts, proposals, packages, like everything is there, and it's answered for me automatically. All I have to do is log in and see what kind of work, where that client is in the workflow. And when it gets to the point that I need to be hands-on, that will be when the client books and schedules an actual in-person consultation. So like I said, the workflow sends my emails, it sends my questionnaires, it sends, and I have different questionnaires for different things. Like I have one questionnaire for a wedding, one questionnaire for a baby shower, and depending on what they select on my website will determine what questionnaire they get. Like, I don't even have to think about that part. It's just absolutely amazing. And there's so many different customizable templates that are there for me on behalf of my client. And if you guys would like to lighten your workload and like to figure out a way that you don't have to sit there and email every single client back or give every single client a call to weed out, your ideal client, which we're going to talk about in the next video, from those who are not so serious or may not be the perfect fit for your company, I'm telling you, Honeybook is the way to go. I think it costs it's around $20 to $25 a month, but to me it's definitely worth it. I think right now it's around $18. And in order to help you guys, if you go ahead and sign up and purchase it now, you will get a copy of all my contracts, my templates, my letters, my questionnaires, packages, just you name it, everything is there. So, and it's customizable. You can suit it to your needs, to your business, put your logo on it. You name it, you can do it. So that's it, you guys. The top 3 mistakes to avoid making when attracting new clients in event planning. And so I want to make sure you guys are good students. So we're going to review them once again. So the number 3 one is what? Insufficient setup time. So if you guessed that, you guessed it right. Number 2 is what? That's right, premature pricing. And number 1 is rapid responses. If you can get those 3 things down before I tell you how to attract your ideal clients, I promise you that this will be your best year ever in your business and beyond. So I hope you guys found these tips extremely helpful. I hope that you found them resourceful. I plan on making more videos like this year. So please be sure to let me know if you identified with any of these mistakes that I mentioned in this video. Let me know that I'm not the only one by leaving the comments down below. And while you're there, if there are any other subjects that you would like for me to expound on, or if you would like for me to include in my online version of Lux Academy that will be launching within the next month or so, be sure to leave those down below as well if there are any other topics that you'd like for me to cover. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you'd like to be upgraded today from a lurker to a luxer, all you have to do is come out of incognito, come out of hiding, and smash that subscribe button. It's just that easy. I'm going to give you a second to get it done. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'll wait. Got it done? Awesome. So I think now it's time to celebrate. So cheers.